I'm going to say something, and I'm going to say something real controversial. How am I supposed to swear to support and defend the Constitution and a country that treats its women like second-class citizens? The military is like the abusive spouse you stay with. Military recruiters typically...
I think you all are pretty familiar with the Roe v. Wade controversy, but when a military member says she can't support the Constitution anymore because she disagrees, I think we've gone a little too far. Let's take a look.
Get the most recruits in underdeveloped cities, in cities with high crime rates, in cities with high percentages of people of color.
So before we get into this young sergeant's beef with the Supreme Court, I want to understand a little backstory. What kind of person are we dealing with? Is it a bad day? Maybe the video got taken down. So I was just looking at this, trying to get an idea of who we're talking about. Is this person grounded in reality?
Army recruiting is very based in racism and classism. We all knew this. We all knew that. But the thing that I want to talk about is...
Now, this isn't the first time I've heard this statement that recruiting's racist. I don't get it. Classist? Yeah, because poor kids sign up for the military. That's kind of been an ongoing theme. Like for me, there was a family tradition of joining the Marine Corps. GI Bill was a bonus, but I wasn't a rich kid. I don't know about the classism thing, but I guess we got to have a victim. But of course, this gets us into not supporting the Constitution if you don't agree with something the government does. And just stand by.
The offers that they give you of free housing, free insurance, free food, free college, that's very enticing to young people, especially young people who have never lived on their own and never had to do those things for themselves.
All right, let's move on from the no shit Sherlock moment and get into the meat of it.
I have thoughts. I have thoughts and I have questions. And
it happened. It happened.
All right, so let's say you don't agree with something the government does. Now, you're in the military, so you always support and defend the Constitution, enemies foreign and domestic, that kind of thing. You kind of go along with it. Every job's got its quirks. Maybe you just say, I don't like what the government did, or SCOTUS did in this case, but I'm going to accept it. I'm a grown-up. I'm not going to put this on TikTok and jeopardize my career because she just got a meritorious promotion to sergeant. One would think this would be common sense among sentient beings, but let's just keep watching.
I woke up from a nap to this. On deployment. I woke up from a nap to this news. America is waking up to this news. I just extended my contract to continue serving this country a week ago.
Right.
How am I supposed to swear to support and defend the Constitution and a country that treats its women like second-class citizens?
All right, let's stop right there. Agree, disagree with the Supreme Court decision. That old thing in the military, you're defending the Constitution, and we got 3 pillars, we'll call it, of how it works, and SCOTUS is one of them, but I guess I don't understand why you'd put this on social media, why she thinks it's appropriate. Keep your shit to yourself. Do you want to have a long career? And I don't care what the job is. Some days you're not going to like what the leadership does, but you just got to
shut the fuck up.
Hear me out. If this was an officer, she would have a loss of confidence from her senior leadership and she would be gone.
How am I supposed to do that? How am I supposed to do that with pride? How am I supposed to do that with love and honor?
It used to be called professionalism. They beat that into our heads. Young Marines be professional. This is anything but professional. I get it. She doesn't like it. I understand. Many things happen in government that military members don't like. Do you think this is a good idea? Not expressing your opinion, but doing it in your uniform and then saying, as part of the U.S. military, how am I supposed to defend the Constitution because of something I didn't like?
How am I supposed to wake up every day and put on a frickin' uniform that says United States Army when the United States doesn't even give a rat's ass about me? It gives more of a rat's ass about the gun they're allowed to buy, the children that I'm forced to give birth to.
Let's not overcomplicate the issue with firearms or in the Constitution. And hold on before you run the comments. I get it. Everyone's got their different opinion on this. But the big issue here, the question of the day is it okay to say you don't support and defend the Constitution because you don't like something government did? Is that an acceptable thing for a newly minted sergeant, NCO in the Army, to say on social media without getting a serious reprimand?
About that.
Right.
Oh, that's so funny. This effect on female servicewomen is an unintended consequence, which means that lawmakers and Supreme Court justices probably weren't thinking about this when they wrote their 213 some odd page report on it, right? They probably...
You know what the Supreme Court is thinking about is, A, should this case be at the Supreme Court? B, what is the proper logical legal framework to apply to this and go back to the states? But hold on a second. As I even say that, I think she works for the federal government. It's not going back to the states. The feds have different rules in health care, we'll call it. Let me give you an example. You go to the VA, need to get medical... They won't give it to you because it's against federal law. So I'm trying to understand... Now, I'm getting lost in the road drama, but the big issue here is it a wise idea to say, as a military member, I don't support and defend the Constitution? Of course it's not. I would never say such a thing. You're in, you know the deal, and if you don't want to do it, you don't put it on social media, right? You just sit back and go, okay, I'm going to get out of this and do whatever I choose, but guess what? Every company, every job is going to have its things you don't like, and this is probably a bad idea. I'm kind of surprised she hasn't yanked this down from TikTok already.
We're not thinking about this consequence, but it is one. And it affects the very people that those lawmakers hold to a higher standard because they support the troops. Do you really, though? You really support the troops, even though this is going to greatly lessen the retention of women in the ranks of this military?
So now she's making an argument why she doesn't like the change. I get it. A lot of people don't like it. Check out Odin's Men. I touch on this kind of stuff at length. But the issue is when you say you can't support and defend the Constitution, what happens if tomorrow there's something she doesn't like? Is she going to come out and say, I don't like marriage? It's not part of my belief system. Therefore, I can't support and defend the Constitution. I mean, where does this end with these people? And at some point, you got to be a grown-up. You can't do this kind of shit and think it's okay. I don't care what your job is. When you work for the U.S. military, the DOD, part of the job is supporting and defending the Constitution.
You support the troops even though you are going to ruin some women's careers?
Oh, God.
I'm deployed right now. And I am a medic, so I know how this works of, like, I have an extremely limited access to birth control.
Any of you ladies out there who are in the military, do you have an extremely limited access to birth control on deployment, any point in time? It's hard for me to believe. You know, I'm thinking here, let's say I'm the top brass. I don't want my ladies having kids they don't want. I'm going to make sure they got what they need to prevent this. I mean, I don't know if this is just drama. She seems like she's not very grounded in reality when you put some shit out like this on TikTok. I don't know. Give me a clue here.
Women in the military are more likely to experience unplanned pregnancies.
Right.
Women, where I'm at right now, you can't even get an ultrasound without traveling off base. You can't. It happened. It happened, ladies and gentlemen. And I signed.
In the as Forrest Gump would say, shit happens. And let's say she was a young major and tried this type of shit. Loss of confidence in leadership. Immediately she would end up resigning. Look at Lieutenant Colonel Schiller. He had a comment about leadership and he was summarily gone in the brig. This kind of behavior is not acceptable on any level. I get it. You don't like the law. There's lots of shit that people don't like that are in. They keep their mouth shut. The last thing they ever say is, I don't know how I'm going to support and defend the Constitution because I don't like a Supreme Court ruling. That's where she lost me, and I hope she learns to grow up, become an adult, and keep your mouth shut. You don't like it? That's part of life, honey.